Hello everybody and welcome to a new era here in the Simraceway, what would have been the Sunday race-off, but it gives me great pleasure to announce that this is the first round of the Simraceway Donington Championship, and what a venue to hold it as well. The circuit of Donington right here in England, my home country, and I really can't wait to see what tonight has in store for us. We've got 4 races, so the B race and the A race of 2 different skill quants, and also the second round coming up of the Mitsubishi December Championship. So racing has just become a lot more serious. Surprises for these new Donington Championships are going to be something so extraordinary, so inviting to drivers to try their luck here in one of the greatest stages of sim racing. Real British Touring Car Championship tickets to the 2014 race right here at the Donington circuit. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime prize, along with many other cash prizes as well. Drivers competing to get the most amount of points over the 3 rounds, with 3 different cars competing every week. So it's not just getting used to your own car, it's getting used to 3 different types of cars. So right now, guys who are comfortable in the BMW Z4 GT3, which is currently being sported, may have a bit more of a difficult time in next week's car, when, for instance, it could be more of a touring car, or it could be an open wheeler. It could be anything, and because of that difference, it requires a whole different driving style. So the winner of this championship will be one of the best all-round drivers that Simraceway has to offer. And let's just really wait now to see what qualifying can give us in these closing stages. Just under a minute to go. It's currently Brock Landers that has set the field alight. A 1:30.620 season, top the timesheets at the moment, with Dimitri just behind him in second place. Litos 76 there sits very snugly in P3, with Andy Bob in 4th. Jim Wally will start in 5th position currently. He's just been pushed down there by Master Rocco with a late move, and he'll also get another lap as well. Darek P7, Bolinas in 8th, Victorious 9th, and the Dinals in 10th, Hanuman 12th, Jim Hall 13th, and they round out your running order for now. It's still got a little bit of time left, 22 seconds to be exact. If Brock Landers having pulled out of the circuit, we take a look at what Dimitri's doing now as he makes his way down the Starkey straight over the bumps that Donington has to offer, and through that chicane. And then look at this, he's got to be careful there, because of course they're running the longer layout of the circuit, which takes you down in towards that Melbourne hairpin. So a very difficult corner. There's a wide runoff area, and it really is one of the most inviting places for an overtaking manoeuvre, but that is a consequence if you try and take it too quickly. Dimitri must have lost a good few tenths there, and whilst that may not seem like a lot at this stage in the session, that could be absolutely vital. He comes onto the main straight now. Will he take pole in his debut race in the championship? The answer is no, he can't. He stays 4 tenths behind, handing Brock Landers what is effectively the position. Litos 76, as you say, currently P3 at the moment. We'll see if he can improve as time goes on. But he's just got into that Melbourne hairpin now. And now making his way in towards Goddard's. He's got to be very careful indeed through here. Again, a very easy corner to oversteer on. He almost did it as well. Careful not to go over that pit lane marker, but he crosses the line. Will he improve from 4th? No, he doesn't. But it's a second race. Oh, he does it. Late update into second place for Litos. So what a move, sitting himself on the front row of the grid as the field will heading towards that first corner, that infamous Redgate corner, for the first time in just a few moments. We'll be back very shortly with your first of 5 races tonight. welcome back to the opening round of the Simraceway Donington Championship. It really is a new era, and with the first race of the night being 7 laps, as the difficulty of the race increases, as does the tension, and as does the amount of laps, resulting in a 23-lap finale with the very top drivers in the race series. But right now it's time for the B race drivers to really give their all. See what they can do. Is Brock Landers, who secured pole position a few moments ago by just 600ths of a second after a late jump by Litos, but will he be able to maintain that advantage into turn number 1? Let's find out. We've got 4 red lights, and now the Donington Championship's underway, and as the cars head down into Red Gate Corner, Brock Landers has had a fantastic start covering Litos. Needs to get to that inside line. He's done so with great audacity, and off goes Litos 76, and he took that corner completely wrong. And he's now down to 9th position. The first corner so difficult here at Donington Park, but as the cars make their way through the Crater curves, it is still Brock Landers that leads. Dimitri, oh, he's off! The race leader, the pole sitter, pirouettes off into the gravel trap, and he slams his car into the tyre wall. And any chance he had of winning today could well be just have been dashed. His jeans have been taken. They can see that car's almost been turned into a road car now. And it leaves Dimitri in the lead. It's more cars off at the very top there, going through McLean's. And cars going off left, right and centre. Jim, Wally and Bellinis, the two involved that time, and shaking his lights was victorious. And he's going to try and make his way through the inside of Coppice, but he wasn't quite able to get the move off. As we make our way towards the end of the first lap, though, it is still Dimitri that leads after it's been a very eventful opening start to the race. Another car off in the background as well. That belongs to Guzel. And Litos 76 involved again. So Litos has really had a difficult stint here already. It's only been 1 lap. The pole sitter now charging his way through the field. He's already up to 8th. He was previously 7th, but as they entered... Oh, and big contact there. And this has not gone well at all for the majority of these drivers. Victoria's taking contact. Bellinis has been left stranded in the gravel trap. And that is just off of the Melbourne hairpin, so he's got to luckily get that car turning round. But even so, it's been a very, very rusty first lap for these drivers, and the car track combo again proving to me more challenging than perhaps we first thought. And right now, the master of all of them, though, has to be Dimitri. He's just seemingly ran away with this one. 2.8 seconds at the front of the field is now the gap between himself and Master Rocco in second. And Master Rocco really does need to start amping up the pressure, because before you know it, Dimitri's going to run away with this one. As you take a look at what Andy Bob's doing as well in P3, he's already all over the back of him. He's making big progress towards the back of Master Rocco. If we can just take a ride on board with him. The 2 cars now, again, just heading up in towards McLean's corner. Onto that straight again. Down Starkey's. And look at all the bumps on the track. Need to get over to that right-hand side as soon as possible before going into Fogarty's. A very tight chicane, so easy to run wide, and that's exactly what Master Rocco did there. He was way too deep, and Andy Bob's going to just slip straight up the inside, and now it's handed to him on a silver platter with an extra side of dessert, wasn't it really? And you can see now he's trying to hold the inside line, and Master Rocco forcing one back, and that almost ended in inevitable contact. I think both drivers were very lucky to retain their current positions, so luckily for Andy Bob, he's able to move his way a bit further forward now, as we say, up to second. Darek's now 3rd, and Bindle's P4. Master Rocco down to 5th as a result of the contact. Take a look behind as well. NASCAR and Victorious now 8th and 9th. Where is our pole sitter gone? Litos is down to P10 now after yet another incident, it seems. Bellinis has not had an easy chance either. He's already again spun off at the Melbourne hairpin. We're only 2 laps into this race, and already the race has taken almost a U-turn completely. And you try and think about what kind of talent these drivers have, and as you go up through the skill quants a bit later on, then you're going to really see that just the sheer talent that Simraceway has to offer. And I think these guys have taken a very different mindset into this 7-lap race, as it's only effectively a sprint to the finish line. 7 laps with looking at about 1.5 minutes a lap is not exactly a long race. If you make an error, and it's going to cost you an extreme amount of time, and could very well effectively cost you a championship, with the top prize, of course, being, you know, a pair of tickets to go and watch the British Touring Car Championship event at Donington Park in 2014, the circuit which will play host to what could be a very vital round in the championship. And Jim Wally slows down in towards Fogarty's again. Got to be so careful through there. But this circuit, again, as we said, really has proven to be a difficult challenge for these drivers. But when you've only got 7 laps, they do tend to get a bit aggressive. They want to move their way through the field as quick as possible. And if you get off the line slowly, like, for instance, we saw Litos do, like, for instance, we saw the man in second do as well. We see a car coming out of the pit lane there, and let's try and find out who that is. That is by Storm. He was closely followed by Litos, 600ths of a second separating the two of them. But in the end, Brock Lander's race has just gone completely upside down, and I don't think when he was sat on that front row, he pictured himself after just 2 laps of racing to be sat right at the tail end of the field, chasing down Victorious, who's 2 minutes up the road. It's not really where any driver wants to be, and it's going to be interesting to see how he recovers from this, not just this race, but especially going into next week's events as well. And if you're just joining us, then a quick update as to what's happened on track in the past 4 laps or so. We've now got a monstrous battle at the top of what could have been a battle for the lead, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Brock Landers, who was on pole, now 13th, has unwillingly let Dimitri lap him as Dimitri's about to start lap 5 out of 7. He crosses the line, and Andy Bob just has to seamlessly watch him go. He would give anything to be back in that position. And Dimitri putting a bit of wheel spin through Redgate corner there, and who can blame him? 9 seconds after just 5 laps of racing. He has put on a dominant display here today. And going into these final 2 rounds of the championship, Dimitri has given a big warning sign to every other driver in this competition to say, if you want those tickets, if you want that big cash prize, you're going to have to fight me for it. And it is going to be a massive uphill battle now for anyone to match Dimitri in a BMW or something like that. What if it's something completely out of the ordinary that you wouldn't expect? Or the Ariel Atom, which has made an appearance several times before in a Sunday race-off. Can Dimitri react and adapt his driving style to this different scenario to find himself in? Right now, though, the only thing he's focusing on is trying to hold Brock Landers back, who unwillingly should not be there at all. He's already forced Dimitri ride there, and Brock, we already know the speed he possesses. That's why he was on pole position, but unfortunately, rules are rules, and he will have to give way no matter what the circumstance. So lap 6 out of 7 about to get underway. Dimitri starts it with a 10.5 second deficit there, back to Andy Bob. Master okay, a further 1.7 seconds behind him. Bindles and Darek not too far adrift, with Jim Wally, who was really up behind them, but had a bit of a lock-up going in towards the final corner of Goddard's. And then, unfortunately, coming down the pit straight is going to be a significant disadvantage. Litos has fought a recovery drive today after his race almost very ended prematurely earlier on. He's able to get himself back under control again, and luckily push his way up a couple of positions, but you can't help but wonder, it could have been so much more for that young man. He showed glimpses of talent. He was currently, well, provisionally qualified in 4th until those final 36 seconds when he posted that all-important lap time to set him in 2nd place and start his race from the right position. But from then on, it was a bit of a downhill battle, and he fought very hard to get back up to 7th. And right now, in this statement to himself that he does have the pace to be at the front of the field, he does have the pace to match the drivers around him and to even be your race leader. But with 1 lap to go, 0.5 of a second have been taken out of Dimitri. It could argue that maybe Dimitri's taking it easy, and who can blame him? He's got 10 seconds. He does not really need to be pushing his heart out. He does not need to be risking any unnecessary errors. And today he's driven a perfectionist race. He's